So as you know that how we do the power book session. We will do first the gratitude prayer, and then we will do the power book session, right? And next time we will do the mirror work, right? So let's all join our hands and let us start. Hi Priyam, hi Archana. So good to see you. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So please join your hands and close your eyes. Take a very deep breath. Keep taking deep breaths. And as you are taking this breath, allow yourself to be in touch with the source. Just see yourself floating in the universe, and you are completely in touch with the higher source, with the higher energy, consciousness. Actually, we all are connected with this higher source. It is just that we have to consciously realize the connection. At deeper levels, we all are connected with this source. Keep taking deep breaths and see yourself floating in the universe and in touch with the higher source. Let's fill our heart with gratitude and love for this connection with this wonderful energy, which is always there with us. We cannot see light waves, we cannot see sound waves, but they do exist. And so is our source. Always it exists, but we cannot see with our naked eyes. That's the only problem. But as we cleanse our connection with the source, we can always feel our connection with this source. Feeling is the secret for the connection with the source. The source energy is always there. Let's silently say thank you to this energy, always holding us, always taking care of us, always helping us wherever we need it. Some or the other thing arises for our help whenever we need it. Some or the other guidance arises whenever we need it. How it all happens is through the source which always holds us in laps. Let's say thank you for this wonderful source energy. Thank you. Thank you for holding me always. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for taking care of me when I was not myself, when I knew no better than pain, when I was so happy, and when I was so sad. Thank you for always taking care of me. Thank you for always holding me. Thank you. Thank you for always supporting me and protecting me in every way, in every possible way. Thank you, universe. Thank you for this wonderful connection that I have. Thank you, universe. Let us be grateful with our heart for this source, for the energy that holds us, holds our family members, whole of our planet. It has no discrimination between anybody. It is just a giver. Unconditional love flows through this source energy. Thank you and be grateful. Be grateful. Thank you, universe. Thank you, universe. Thank you, universe. You can rub your hands now and put it on your eyes. And silently we can just come out. Okay. How was it? Can anybody share the experience? How was it? Anyone? Hi Niruji, Preeti, Priyaji, Lakshmiji. Thank you for joining. How was it? Anybody, just quick word.
Priya, it was very soothing and very comfortable.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Nishaji. Anybody else? Quick word, quick word. Even if it was not comfortable, you know that we don't here look for only good feedbacks. Not required. It's okay. Just you can share your experience, your genuine experience, honest experience. Yeah, Priyam, you want to say something?
Uh, I am a little emotional, got connected, and got emotional. That's the thing. So initially it was a little crying, and then it was a little feel good factor also. So it was a mixed kind of.
Okay, okay. Very nice. It's okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. At least you shared. Very nice. And great. Yes, Shreyaji, you want to say something?
Yeah, it was nice, Priyaji. It was good. Means after a long time I did this.
Okay.
Um, it really felt nice, light-hearted. Yeah.
Okay, very nice, very nice. So actually, I don't know if I've shared with you all that I was about to read this book, The Power of Intention, and then I was not able to, and then I restarted it, and whatever I've done today is all from that book. Amazing book. And sometimes I feel like kind of energy these authors write is like completely being felt, so much connected. And I encourage all of you to keep reading at least one book, whatsoever you're reading. Today I spoke with Vidya. She's not here, but she has completed a book. I think Shreyaji Vidya was with us in the last batch. She completed Many Lives, Many Masters. And such a wonderful book she felt it is, right? So, everybody, please start reading books because that is one thing that will keep your connection with yourself active. Right? Okay, let us start with our session. You know that we are doing Power Book and we will do this Power Book. So, somewhere we left here, life follows you. This chapter that life follows you, right? And I don't know, but somewhere I recollect that we are in between of this chapter. So, thought to just begin from where I felt like, we have left. So, it's okay if we are somewhere up and down, that's okay. But let's start it, right? The law of you, one, attraction says this. Okay. Yeah, this is from here. Let's start it from here. Anybody who can read it? Gives instant energy. Thank you, Lakshmi ji. Anybody can read it today? Your life, your story. Anyone?
I will read it, Priya.
Please go ahead, Purva. Thank you.
Your life, your story. You are creating the story of your life. So, so what story are you telling about yourself? Do you believe there are things you can and cannot do? Is that the story you are telling about yourself? Because that story is not true. Don't listen if someone says you are less than anyone else. Don't listen if someone says you are limited in any ways. Don't listen if someone says you can't do what you love to do and earn a living from it. Don't listen if someone says you are not a valuable and worthy as the greatest human beings who have lived. Don't listen if someone says you are not good enough now and you have to prove yourself in life. Don't listen if someone says you can't have what you love or do what you love or be what you love. If you believe it, you put limits on yourself, but more importantly, it is not true. There is not a single thing that is too good for you or too bad or too good to be true.
Yeah. So thank you, Purva. So, it's a wonderful paragraph. But, yesterday only I read complete this thing so clearly in Power of Intention. I'll try to share it in our group if I'll find something. The language is too tough, so I don't know if somebody, I mean, you all will be able to get it or not. Because I took so much time to connect with that book. I was like, no connection was there with the book. So, it takes time. But what I am understanding here is that when she says, don't listen if someone says you are less than anyone else, immediately I think we start feeling bad inside. Why she said this? Why he said that? Why this has happened with me? Why that has happened with me? Why I've got such a comment, right? So that book helped me to understand this particular thing little deeper. I would like to just take few minutes. I don't know if I'll be able to make the justice. Here, two things are involved. What I believe is, I have got to know from that book is, one is our ego. As somebody says you're this, you're that, the ego comes into the picture. And this ego, my God, it pricks so badly in the heart, right? And then we start this loop of unworthiness. Why this happened, why that, and all that, right? And second thing is our belief system, somewhere which thinks that I am not this person or that person, right? So, I'll give you one example. When I got married, after that, we had a fight, wonderful fight. And he said, you did this, you did that, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you're in my family, all that, right? And, now ego came into the picture, how he can talk to me like this and all that. And I just went outside because I was reading this book, and I said, I detach myself from ego. I detach fully myself from the ego. And, this seems so stupid, but it was really miraculous. When I detached myself from the ego, because the ego came so much into the picture, how this person can talk to me like this. And when I detached from the ego, I was first behaving normally with him. Otherwise, I cannot behave normally with the person who has spoken bad with me. No, you will see serious bad expressions on my face. And I'll give so bad expressions that cannot imagine, right? But because I detached myself from the ego, I was able to talk normally. And after some time, I heard a sorry. So, this is how it works. And it was so good that, like that, it has helped me so much that in just a few minutes, certain things have got sorted out. And, earlier I used to think, why do I have to detach myself from the ego? I will lose myself. I will not have myself. But, I'm finding more of myself as I detach from ego. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. I want all of you to try. If you have any conflict with anybody, detach yourself from the ego. Just say, I want to detach from myself from the ego. Yes, Hirilji.
As if it's so much required for me today.
Wow. Very nice. You will see magical result. I'm telling you. Just detach. It is not to berate ourselves. It is not to uplift the other person. Nothing. It is just to leave this ego in between and create a space where more of things can fill inside. And when we detach from ego and all these things and we connect with the universe, only love can be filled. Only love energy will come. Nothing else can come unless and until I allow anything to come inside. Because source energy is pure, purest. So if I give space and allow, then, this will come and fill inside. So like that, two messages I got when I got married. One is that never sleep with a fight, right? Because, we are egoistic that if you're not talking to me, I'm not going to talk to you. Simple, then no matter how many days or weeks goes. But then this message I got and it helped me. And the second is detaching myself from ego. Wonderfully it helped so much that, the transition of having a, start was wonderful, right? So this is one thing. And also, I wanted to start my work on Thursday, but procrastination is so much prominent now. So I dragged my work. And then, he said, have you started your work? I said, no. And he said, I know you cannot do anything in life. You're like this only. You're so this, you're so that. I know you will never do. You're this person only. All that. But it didn't affect me even a bit. Just a bit, it has not affected me. And I was so happy. So happy. You say whatever you want to say. I am not getting affected. So
But
yes,
then what about self-respect, Priyaji?
exactly. Wonderful. So Shreyaji, we will talk about self-respect, but actually, um, you know, self-respect is very, very different from having an ego. Very, very different. In fact, leaving your ego and allowing an understanding or peace inside is self-respect.
No, but then how do we react to these people who are not good to us? We also have self-respect, right?
That's what. See, I have actually read few words. If I'll find it again, I'll send you. He said one thing. You want to be right or happy? Choose. Choose. If you want to be right in any situation, it's okay. But if you want to be happy, you have to leave your ego. Simple. Right? So self-respect is a very different subject, Shreyaji. We have actually, mingled all these topics in between, but it is a very different thing. If I want my self-respect, first I want is my peace of mind. That is my self-respect, respect for myself, that I don't want to hurt myself in any way, right? And but what we do it is we take it on the other way. We put it on the others. If he is talking to me like that, my self respect is getting hurt. But what am I doing with myself? That is what is self respect. Slowly, slowly, we'll get it, Shreyaji. I want to bring those topics into the picture. And, marvelous, marvelous. The new understanding that you will get is marvelous. And, it becomes so easy when we get this understanding. We don't have to do much in life. This understanding only helps, right? So for time being, try it. Whenever you're having a fight with anybody, if you want to cry or do anything, but just say, I detach myself from ego and I connect with universe. I connect with the source energy, and to find the solution for whatever you are going through and see how it works, right? And then you have to keep a check if ego is coming in between, because it will really tap you and say, don't talk. Bullshit, man, don't talk like that. So that is ego. So detach, and then slowly slowly you will see your energy will shift, and that will help a lot, right? So let's go ahead. I think we have taken it too deep, but that's okay. Yes, please go ahead, Purva. Let's go ahead next. I'll just share my screen. Please go ahead.
The force of love says, whatever you give, you receive back. Does that say you are not good enough? The force of love says, give love for whatever you want to be, do or have, and you will receive it. Does that say you are not good enough? You are worthy and deserving just as you are. You are good enough now. If you feel you have done something that was not right, understand that your realization and acceptance of it is absolution of the law of attraction.
Yeah. So, yeah, see, here Rhonda Byrne also suggests the force of love, right? We are talking it in a different term, source, universe, and she's talking about force of love. Everything is same. The power of intention. This word is also universe. This word is also source. Force of love. This is also source. The words are different, but the meaning is same, right? So it says, I want to mention here, Shreyaji, what you give, you receive back. So when I activate my ego, is what I get from the other side ego. And when I start to detach my ego, I will also receive less of ego from the other end. So how you will find this is, definitely once you will work on your ego, you will definitely see a less ego from the other side. There will definitely be a change. 100%. Because See, as we say, we are just vibrating. We all are vibrating like this beyond the body, right? And when this vibration changes, then everything changes. We are working on this vibration. Ego, pride, anger, hatred, love, everything is this changes, everything changes, right? So from that perspective, what you give is what you receive back, right? Give love for whatever you want to be, do, or have, you will receive it, right? Does that say that you're not good enough? So she's saying that does that this energy says you're not good enough? Never. You're always worthy and deserving just as you are. We just have to keep reminding ourselves this thing so that it gets instilled in our subconscious. That is our work, right? The real world. In the beginning, there were only probabilities. The universe could not come into existence if someone observed it. It doesn't matter that the observers turned up several billion years later. The universe exists because we are aware of it. I know these are very difficult lines to understand, and somewhere these are, quantum, it goes into the quantum science, so difficult to understand. But the meaning is that universe always exists. It doesn't matter that if someone is there, then only universe exists, right? Universe exists because we are aware of it, right? Like God exists if I believe, right? For those who don't believe, there is no God, right? So universe exists as I believe, as I'm aware of it, as I observe. For those who don't, it doesn't, right? So but it says that universe could only come into existence if someone observed it. It doesn't matter that the observer turned up several billion years later, right? Universe exists because we are aware of it, right? So let's go ahead. I'll take these lines. I want to take you behind the scenes of the world you see, because much of what you see is not as real as you may think it is. A few adventurous steps into the invisible will change the way you look at the world, and it will set you free to receive unlimited life. So now she is going to talk about few things which, which doesn't, we cannot see, invisible, invisible things, right? Let's go ahead, Purva.
Most of the things you may currently believe about the real world are not true. You are much more than you may realize. Life and the universe are much more than you may realize. You may think there is a limited amount of things in the world. You may think there is a limited amount of money, health, and resources, but it is not true. There is no lack of anything. Quantum physics tell us there are infinite planet Earths and infinite universes that exist, and we move from one reality of planet Earth and a universe to another every fraction of a second. This is the real world emerging through science.
Yeah. So, wonderful words, difficult to digest, but let's try to get it. She says you may think there are limited amount of money and all these things, but there is no lack, right? Quantum physics now tells us that there are infinite means endless, planet Earths. What we know is this Earth, but quantum says there are infinite planet Earths and infinite universes that exist, not one universe, infinite universes. And we move from one reality of planet Earth and a universe to another every fraction of a second. We even don't know, but we travel and we vibrate at different frequencies, which takes us from, on the subtle level, it happens. This is the real world emerging through science, right? We'll get to know all this a little later when we will, understand all this. So Stephen Weinberg, Nobel Prize winner of quantum physicists, says, in our universe, we are tuned into a frequency that corresponds to physical reality. Means when we have taken birth on this planet, we are tuned to this physical reality, means senses, then this table, chair, this car, and all this. We are tuned to this physical reality, our home, people around us, everything. But there are infinite number of parallel realities coexist with us in the same room, although we cannot tune into them. So we cannot turn or tune into them, but they exist. Several parallel realities means several parallel worlds exist with us every fraction of second as we are also living, but we cannot see, but we cannot tune because we are not tuned to that, right? Let's go ahead.
You may think there is shortage of time in the real world, and because of that, you may live your life rushing against time. But the great scientist Albert Einstein told us that time is an illusion.
Yeah, so this is a wonderful line which struck me when I heard it for the first time. Greatest scientist Albert Einstein itself says time is illusion. There is no time. Time only exists on planet Earth. Otherwise, there is no planet. Have you observed when you sit in the aeroplane? It doesn't even seem if it is, going forward. What can we see with our senses? Nothing. And what we see with our senses is actually false. And what we cannot see is actually true. Right? So it says that we live our life so rushingly, like, time. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. I've requested everybody to watch that movie Vinodaya Sitam. Anybody watch that movie Vinodaya Sitam? Wonderful movie to understand. I don't have time. Right? So that movie, if you have not, please watch it. It is in Tamilan movie, but a wonderful movie on Z5 app. But you will understand when people say, I don't have time, I don't have time, right? The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. The people who think I don't have time, they are living their whole life in illusion. Just illusion, right? I have so much to do, but I cannot do. I don't know where my life is going. This is all illusion, right? We are not living a real life actually, right? You may think that the real world is made up of living things and dead things, but in the universe, everything is alive and nothing is dead, right? The stars, planets, earth, water, everything that we are seeing is alive. That is the real world which is emerging. That is why we are paying gratitude, right? So Prentice Mulford says there is a sense in the tree which feels your love and responds to it. It doesn't respond or show its pleasure in our way or in a way we can now understand. So everyone is now clear that, trees also respond and everything. We know that they also have souls. In fact, I don't know if you know, even rocks are souls. Mountains are souls. Can you imagine? They are also souls. I never knew. Personally, I never knew. And then I read it and then I came to know that if when a mountain breaks, there are souls that emerges and then they get transformed into other lives, and then slowly they get into existence of insects, and then they get into the existence where they get human life later on. But they are also souls. They have certain karmas. That is why they have to stay so stagnant as a rock, right? So I think Ahilya's story is very much true, that we always hear in our Hindu mythology. Ahilya's story, right? How she turned into a rock. So let's go ahead, Purva. This is very interesting. The last part, this part is very interesting.
You may believe the real world is everything you can see, and that everything you can't see is not real. And yet, the color you see when you look at something is in fact not its real color. Each time absorbs all the colors that is really you and reflects the color it is not. And that's the color you see. So the sky is actually every color but blue.
Yeah. So she says that we see sky as blue and we say sky is blue, sky is blue, sky is blue, right? But actually, sky is every color but not blue, because it absorbs every color but not the blue color. So we see the blue color. So I am wearing this red sweater. Everybody can see, yeah, Priya has red sweater. But when light is putting on this, it absorbs every color, but not red. That is why it appears red. So how it can be red? But it is red, right? This is what is the real world, right? And next part is also interesting. And some of you, if you have dogs, you will be able to understand. Please go ahead, Purva.
There are many sounds you can't hear because their frequencies are beyond what you can hear, but they are real. You can't see ultraviolet or infrared light because their frequencies are beyond what your eye can see, but they are real. If you imagine all the known frequencies of light as the size of Mount Everest, then all that you can see is smaller than a golf ball.
Yeah. So she says that all the sounds that we have, we cannot hear. Anybody has seen a dog's whistle? Dog's whistle. So when we whistle it, we cannot hear. We cannot hear, but dogs can hear. So that is how, it is what she is trying to say, right? Ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, we cannot see with visible eye, right? But as we can imagine all these known frequencies as the size of Mount Everest, then all you can see is like a small golf ball. This is all just this in whole of the universe. Right? You may believe that the real world is made up of solid things you can see and touch, but actually nothing is solid. This is another one of the brilliant thing we have to understand. Nothing is solid. The chair you're sitting right now is the force of moving energy, and it's mostly space. 99.9999% everything is space. Nothing is matter. 0.00001% is just matter. So how real is your chair? It is not. It perceived to be real, but it is not, right? So Gautam Buddha says, a wise man recognizing that the world is but an illusion does not act if it is real. So he escapes the suffering. So the person who understands the reality, the actual reality and what is illusion, then we escape the suffering, right? Okay, how much we have to read more? Okay, the real story. We'll read it till real story. Please go ahead, Purva.
You may believe that your imagination is just thoughts and dreams and has no power in the real world. And yet, one of the hurdles of scientists in powering things to be true or not is removing the scientist's beliefs from scientific experiments, because what the scientist believes or imagines will be the outcome of the experiment affects the outcome of the experiment. This is the power of human imagination and belief. Just as scientists' beliefs affect the outcomes of an experiment, so do your beliefs affect the outcome of your life.
Exactly. So, even when a scientist is doing an experiment, the scientist own believes it affects the experiment results. That is why there is a doubt now on being put on the scientific researches. How we can tell that if it is true? Because human imagination and is so powerful that if a scientist puts his belief in a particular thing, it will come true. Right? So it says that just as scientists' beliefs can affect the outcome of an experiment, just an experiment, so how much our beliefs affect the outcome of our life, your life, right? So your beliefs, true or untrue, from your world. Beliefs may be true or untrue. It forms our world. What you imagine and you feel to be true creates your life, because that is what you are giving to the law of attraction, and that is what is getting returned to us. Your imagination is more real than the world you see. This is a very, very important line. Your imagination is more real than the world that you can see, because the world you see, it comes from your imagination and your belief. What you believe and feel to be true is what will be your life. What you believe and you feel to be true will become your life. If you believe that you cannot have a life you can dream, law of attraction must follow, and that will become the real world. Wonderful these lines are. So Abraham Lincoln says to believe in the things you can see and touch is no belief at all, but to believe in the unseen is a triumph and a blessing. A story of limitation has been passed on one generation to next in the history of humanity. But now the time has come for the real story. So we'll go for this real story next time and we'll complete this chapter. Okay. I hope it makes sense and it was not boring. Even if it is boring, it's okay. Somewhere it adds value, right? Anybody has anything to say? We are completed with this today. Yeah. You have to say something, Archana? Okay, no. Anybody else?
Uh,
Yeah,
no,
Archana.
I have to say actually. So this is amazing. It's been a while. We haven't seen you, and the moment I saw you, the happiness, like, okay, you came back, and I was glad that you are here.
Thank you.
So the session is like all-time success. Like we every time learn something new, and we experience things, right? So this is the one which we experienced it after a long time. And thank you so much for this session, Priya.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Archana. Thank you so much. Anybody can put some learning forward, like if any one takeaway that you have got from today's session or anything that can help anybody else or what you have got for yourself from today's talk. Yeah, Purva.
Yes, actually, with the ego, what you said, huh? So actually, we know many times we have gone through many things which are related to ego. But today, like I got some new perspective to look at that ego,
Hmm.
detaching yourself from the ego. So I will try this.
Very nice. Actually,
When we are very angry, we don't think all these things. We are in only that, like how I will defend myself or how I will put more arguments.
hmm,
But that time actually this is needed, and we have to see to it. Like every time we have some fight with anybody, before like going ahead, first we should detach, try to detach ourselves from ego,
ego.
and then maybe like you got that experience, and then maybe we will be having some different experience.
Yeah. And you know what, Purva? The experience is so wonderful that now, even if I communicate with Rohit or if I have a fight, I don't feel any ego clash. And one thing is very clear that if I'm going to mess up with his ego, life is going to be a big mess. And I feel like that is why marriages are struggling. This one thing is big thing. Marriages are struggling is ego. If one person detach and take a back front from ego, I think things resolves and life becomes really good. We think that life will become pathetic. I used to think life will become pathetic, but no, it becomes real magic when we detach from this ego. And thank you for putting this point forward, Purva, because when I was taking the last session of mirror work, I was so stuck with some people to make them understand that why they have to forgive others, and what is that one thing which is not letting them forgive people, why they are not able to, why they are so stubborn in forgiving, why they can just simply not forgive. I was having this kind of stuck things. And then, when I started reading this book, I got all the answers. It is their ego stopping them to forgive others. It is the ego which is not letting them to experience the whole of life. Ego comes in between and stops. It's a big barrier for anybody.
True, ma'am. Very true, very true.
Yeah. So, that is how universe answers. And when I started reading this book, the first few pages only made me so disappointed. I said, all these points, Priya, you have none of these things in yourself. Leave this book. This is not for you. And then, when again and again I started, how wonderfully it got connected at the right time. This is how it works, really. So where I'll share certain things in Power Book only if I will get on the part ego of especially ego. And then, this ego is what I also understood is this ego is not just we think that, the clash. Even when I think, of any of my accomplishment, it is also ego. Oh my God. If I think that I am not good enough, so if I have a thought that I'm not I'm unworthy, this is also ego. Oh my God. I never knew that if I am feeling unworthy, that is also my ego. So, much deeper than what, we can actually think of. But one thorough reading will help you understand it so better. So better, right? So I'll try to share few things. Please read it. And, slowly we will understand when our time will come, right? So that is the sharing. And next time we'll share some more things on how, if we are in touch with source, for that we have to shed ego. And if we are connected with the source, the book itself says that we can heal 90,000 people at the same time. Imagine how much is the big responsibility we have, that once I shed my ego and I connect with the source energy, 90,000 people I'm healing same time. Okay. So, I mean, it makes so happier that how much big is our responsibility for humanity, which Louis talks about, and which Louis specially talks about in certain meditations in mirror work, that how we can heal this heart meditation when she says, imagine a place you're healing, this and that. Everything is so connected, that how it wonderfully works. And then one thing is, you cannot even imagine with your low energy of fear, anger, you must be depressing somebody in Bulgaria, right? That is how it also works, right? And this is so wonderful that I have seen such a vibrational shift from when I went from this family to that family. Clear vibrational shift is there. My family, we don't have much of, we don't have much of that. We pay, join hands, and say thank you to food before this thing. We do it little later and in between and all that. But immediately as I went in that family, even before having that first bite, the first thought that comes is thank you. Automatically, automatically, not even with any effort. Here in my house, I have to put my effort. Oh shit, I have forgotten. Please say thank you for the food. There, I don't have to, because Rohit's mother is ingrained with this particular habit of joining hands and saying thank you before eating. So it comes so automatically that vibrationally it is there in that place, that gratitude comes automatically, automatically. So, this is how it works. And in certain things, definitely, bad are there and good are there. So that is how it works. So this is how vibrationally so subtle it changes when we are in one place to another place. Our feelings also change depending on the vibration of that particular place. Right? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all your time. Sorry for taking much of time, but 45 minutes is good. Thank you for it. And we'll see next week. We will also start with mirror work practice sessions. And I think Sunday we'll do our first session now, practice session, right? We'll pick up one topic and we will work on this ego. Shreya ji, please join in. We'll work on this ego part deeply, because, I'm telling you, wonderful experience you will have once you will get to yourself attached to it.
Sure, sure.
Right? Thank you, Shreya ji. Thank you, all of you. And we'll catch up, Saturday, no, Sunday, we'll catch up again. Thank you. Thank you all. See you all.
Priya ji, good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Priya.
Bye bye.